Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad, Bryan to my right, your right. I am Eli Moon, and we are back in the saddle here for a Wednesday edition of Inside Edge Primetime right here on the Inside Edge Network. We appreciate you being with us. I'm having a crazy hair day. Chad, of course, as always, looks magnificent. We are rolling, rocking, all in between, and we are trying to be in good spirits after the Cavaliers have almost ripped our hearts out after last night. If you missed post-game here on the Inside Edge Network, you had Chad, Kyle Cornell from Unfiltered, which you can catch 5 to 6 p.m. here on weekdays on the Inside Edge Network. And, of course, myself, we were all chatting about those Cavaliers. They obviously dropped the ball against the New York Knicks yesterday. 114-95 was the final. Excuse me, not 114-95. That was way back when. 115-104 was the score. Sure felt like 115-94, though, the way it was going, Chad. And, yeah, we'll pull that back up in here. Yeah, pull that back up in here in a second. What we do want to remind you here, first and foremost, is like, subscribe, follow all the great stuff Inside Edge Net on all the socials, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, all of that. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when Chad and I are going live, as well as all of the Inside Edge Network talent. We mentioned on Filter with Kyle Cornell, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, weeknights here, midnight to 1 a.m. on the Inside Edge Network. You'll find out about all that and our weekly shows, great weekly shows at Inside Edge Net. And don't forget the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Again, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Great personalities page. You can read about Chad and I. And, of course, and we're going to have separate pages. It's not like us, Chad and Eli are. But we're going to have our pages and, of course, all of the great talent on Inside Edge Network. So you can read about us, learn a little bit more. Of course, our great partners, W Energy, Monster Moments, sportsmemorabilia.com, fanatics.com, and AlleyRoseFragrances.com. We appreciate you so, so much. Couldn't do it without you, and couldn't do it without you at home. So you know what we got for you as a promo code. If you go over to the shop and get a mug, a hat, a shirt, a polo, all the great Inside Edge Network gear, and rep the network, Cleveland's digital leader, use the promo code INSIDER for 20% off your order. And if you've been following along, Kyle Cornell told us on Unfiltered, we made the deal, me and him and I, about if we get 10 purchases before the end of this month, at May 31st at 11:59 p.m., we have 10 purchases. He shaves my head on an episode of Unfiltered. So it'll be absolutely phenomenal. Again, the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you're going to want to go, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. All right, Chad. We're going to talk Cavs here in a moment, but I'd be remiss. Look, we didn't even get to ask how each other were doing yesterday. We just had to dive right into that debacle, and we'll dive right back into it. But how are you feeling? Is the grass mowed? I mean, how's the hair looking underneath? What are you feeling?
I mean, I don't know about the hair. I just got cut today, so it always looks pretty good. You know,
yes, sir.
give a shout out to Jenna who cuts my hair. But yeah, I the grass it's out there. It's getting rained on, so it's going to be whatever it is for a few days until that stops. I don't know, just kind of still feeling the effects from last night. Really, to be honest with you, that was a tough one, man. That was 22-point lead gone in one quarter, and that's tough to digest. It felt like they lost 2 games last night, but I'm doing okay. Whatever. I guess I don't know. I've been trying to like toss it back and forth to myself, like, okay, well, but they should have won, so that means they can definitely win game 2. And then I think about how poorly the Knicks played for the first 3.5 quarters, and I'm like, well, but the Knicks played really badly for a while. And then maybe that rust shook off, and then we talked about rest versus rust, and they just weren't rusty quite long enough. But I don't know, man. I feel I'm good, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah, okay. I love it. I
A
love
long
it.
answer, yeah.
Sure was. And I love it, right? I mean, love that you're doing well. Don't love that the Cavs lost, but I love the optimism a little bit there.
Hey.
And I think that's
I'll
a
be
big
okay
thing.
regardless. I mean, I'm going to move on. My life's going to go on. It's okay. I just would rather have seen them win game 1. That's all.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? I really, really wanted to talk about James Harden tonight, if that's okay with you. I want to have a discussion about Mr. Harden because he has been absolutely catching a beat down on national media, on local media, any media. He's been catching a beat down at your local barbershop. I'm sure he's been the chat of the town here in Cleveland the last 24 hours or so.
Yeah. He's got everybody don't even watch the Cavs talking bad about him. I mean,
exactly.
It's just widely known that he didn't have a good game last night.
And everybody is completely valid. Exactly, Chad. It's exactly my point. Everybody's valid in what they're saying about James Harden. And it is a time right now where we question his legacy, right? This is a guy who's 36 years old. He's been in the league 17 years. This is his 17th year. He's been to 1 NBA Finals, has an MVP, a 6th Man of the Year, I believe, as well for OKC. He has the accolades there. However, the big thing that has disrupted the James Harden experience everywhere he's gone is the fact that he cannot lead as a star player, at least to the promised land. He's tried in Houston. He's tried in Philadelphia. He's tried in Brooklyn. He's tried almost anywhere. Los Angeles with the Clippers recently. He has tried everywhere, and it just has not worked for whatever reason. You could say the team wasn't around him. Maybe he was playing real well, and the team wasn't around. I'll give you that with a few of those Houston teams. But then you look at some of these other situations when it comes to James Harden, and he's just consistently dropped the ball. And obviously we were heated about it post-game. Kyle Cornell was heated. We were heated. Everybody was mad. Anthony Alford obviously upset as well. A lot of that blame, however, should also fall on Kenny Atkinson because Kenny Atkinson failed to make any rotations. The rotations he had in Game 7 against the Detroit Pistons, those didn't exist yesterday. Went away from what was working. Dennis Schroeder, MIA for most of the fourth quarter when we needed him to seatbelt Jalen Brunson all the way down the court on defense.
Which, listen, and I've been thinking about that part of it, and I could understand it if James Harden was hot offensively but giving up some stuff on defense, whatever, but he's hitting threes and he's scoring, he's getting whatever, like floaters. He's putting up like 10, 12 points in the fourth quarter. Then, okay, sure, you leave him out there, forget about Dennis Schroeder because Schroeder wasn't, it was like 1 for 8 from the floor. But Harden wasn't hitting anything either. I mean, you might as well put Schroeder in his defense and his tenacity and his toughness out there. I mean, he's pure hustle, and I've been thinking about that a lot. I would have gotten it if, like I said, if you're Harden and you're giving up something on the defensive side, but you're scoring fine, but he wasn't doing anything on either end of the court, and I don't get it. I don't get it holding on to the timeouts. I just don't get a lot of it. I don't get a lot of it.
Sure doesn't make a lot of sense, right? And if you're James Harden, if you listen, if you're not listening, whatever. If you've heard the buzz, this isn't just another James Harden postseason. Okay, whatever. You're still a great player. Top 75 NBA player voted in when they did the top 75 players of all time. James Harden in that list.
Yeah.
This is a legacy discussion at this point now for James Harden, right? You have been to 1 finals in 17 years. Yet you have pretty much been one of the top scorers in the league. At one point, I think led the league multiple times in assists. You have done all of this, yet you can't get it done when it matters most. It makes no sense. It's like they don't call Reggie, you think of Reggie Jackson in baseball, right? The New York Yankees. They call him Mr. October because who gives a shit what he does in May and June? He's hitting home runs in October and walking off games to win the Yankees a World Series. And that's what it comes down to. And for James Harden, you got to wonder where his mind's at, Chad. You got Game 2, Cavaliers due tomorrow against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. We'll have the post game with our bro Omar Klossel here on the Inside Edge Network. And I've been thinking a lot today, pal. And my brain isn't hurting. Don't worry. I know you worry at times. But it's not hurting today. I will say it's been my heart's been hurting. But
That's a tough one. I mean,
yeah,
it's tough. It's 22 points. Just never mind. You know what happened.
it sure did. It sure
Yeah.
did wreck a lot of our hearts and our minds and all of that. And I'm gonna play a few clips here for us.
You know what it feels like really quick before you go? It feels like
Yes.
that 2018 game one of the finals when,
Yes.
the Cavs had it. And when they lost, it was like, that was it. That was the chance to steal one there. And it feels just last night felt very, very similar to that.
And you know what, Chad? I've seen lists today of this being ranked in the top 5 losses of Cleveland sports history.
Oof, man, that's tough.
Like, think about it.
So many. That's tough.
Well, a few stats, right? Teams were 1-594 after trailing by 22 points late. Around that time in the fourth quarter, the Cavs were up with that lead.
Yeah.
The Cavs now given the second win all time in 596 matchups. They're one of 2 teams to allow that type of deficit to come back and do it. And you think about some other stats too. ESPN, the stats and statistics and the analytics that had the Cavaliers at a 99.9% chance to win.
Yeah, I heard Double mention that last night on Midnight Run. That's insane. That's because they can't give you 100% because the clock's still got some time on it.
And it sure is about, yeah.
Exactly. Not enough to come back, though. Not enough to come back. So it's 99.9% because you're not coming back from that. There's no way that could ever happen.
And just for the
point lead, yeah.
Exactly. And we're not telling you what to do with your money, but for the bettors at home, the Knicks were plus 3,500 at that time. Plus 3,500 live betting.
Somebody dropped 10 on it, right? Just whatever. I mean, who cares? You know what I mean? It's my 10 free bucks. Somebody did it.
I mean, somebody made some money, and I'm sure a lot of people made money because it's when this Cavaliers team. Yeah, well, hey, I love it. I don't love it, but
it's like when I get sad when someone wins the Powerball, and I'm like, man, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't buy a ticket. That's not. I can't really be disappointed about that.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure a lot of people made money off of it because this Cavaliers team is like Jekyll and Hyde. We don't know who we're getting every night, right?
And you don't know when they're going to turn. You don't know what it is. Like, did somebody pour water on them? Did they feed them after midnight? Like, what? Why do they just turn? They just turn the corner on you, man, and all of a sudden, yeah, it's bad.
Absolutely, Chad. And I'm going to play a few clips here for us, bro. I'm going to bring us first back to last night. I know you don't want to go there. We're going back to last night. We're going to hear from New York.
But okay.
We're going to hear from New York Knicks head coach Mike Brown, former Cavaliers coach twice, Mike Brown. Yeah. And we're going to hear about their plan. I'm sure if you've been living under a rock, respectfully, I know you probably haven't heard this, but everybody else, I'm sure, has heard this clip at some point circulated. If you haven't, this is head coach of the New York Knicks, Mike Brown, talking about what their game plan was to get back from a 22-point deficit and eventually take the game from the Cavaliers in overtime. Take a look.
They were trying to do the same thing with Jalen, and so we said, okay, we feel like we can play that game. We try not to play that game much, but we feel like we have a guy that we can play that game with in Jalen. And so, just like we have to try to figure out different ways to guard Harden and Mitchell, they got to figure out different ways to guard Jalen. But there's no secret, we were attacking Harden.
And Chad.
Really? That's what they were doing? Okay.
All right.
I hadn't heard that yet. I didn't know that. Did James Harden play a role in that game in some way?
Chad, yes. I have some thoughts. I know you do too.
I'm trying to give them thoughts and not words. Yeah.
I love it. Well, we're going to need those words in a moment.
Yeah.
We're going to hear from Kenny Atkinson here from earlier today around shoot around for the Cavaliers. And, hey, if anybody has James Harden's back, it might be, and it seems to be, head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kenny Atkinson. This is courtesy of Ashley Holder earlier today. Take a look, and we're coming right back with you right after.
I said, well, this is my first. I said, without you, we're knocked out in the first round. That's first. My personal opinion. So let's just stop there. We're in a great position. You've played great. Sometimes micro experiences get exaggerated. So keep being yourself. One thing about James, I'll just defend him. He's a good isolation defender. Always has been. He's super smart. I said it last night. He's got great hands. I was kind of a little more upset with our backline defense. Okay, he had two or three really tough shots on him, but then I think the baseline drive where our low guy didn't come over and get a contest, right? This is team defense. At this level, it's team defense. Are we helping them, sending them in the right direction, have the help there. So sure we can I know everybody's putting it on James, but I'd say it's a lot of it's on the team, our team defense. And we were great for 3 quarters, like really, really great. So we can do it. I think sure some of it was him. There was a couple of blow-bys, but again, I'd argue it was on the team defense too.
And Chad, that was Kenny Atkinson courtesy of Ashley Holder earlier today. We appreciate you, Ashley. Thank you for the clip. And of course, you got to appreciate to a degree Kenny Atkinson, right? Kenny Atkinson, I'm going to be honest with you, Chad. When I heard that clip, Kenny Atkinson just attached his future with Cleveland to James Harden. Yeah. Because this is the most vocal I've seen him be towards one player that isn't established as part of the core 4. He was added on. You look at all of this with James Harden, and you look at the colossal embarrassment that was last night. That's the best way I can explain it. Yeah. I mean, 21 times, I believe was the number. He was the main defender, the primary defender. They went iso ball, and Jalen Brunson cooked him. Absolutely cooked him. Yeah. And I understand the team defense aspect, and Kenny Atkinson's right to a degree where, yes, if we know James Harden isn't going to be able to slow down Jalen Brunson, we need to contain or whatever, but it really falls back on Harden. Because earlier last night, Kenny Atkinson said James Harden's the best isolation defender on the team. So we should be trusting the best isolation defender to defend the ISO, correct? So all that to be said, you look at Kenny Atkinson, you look at all this, he has attached his future now to James Harden. However this series ends, if it ends in a success for the Cavaliers, we won't be talking too much about this New York Knicks series. We'll be talking about the finals against OKC or San Antonio. But if it ends tragically, and not how Cleveland wants it to end in a 4-game sweep, a 5-game gentleman sweep, whatever have you, even 6 games, I'd say at this point after last night, Kenny Atkinson is just as possible and probable to not be the head coach of this Cleveland Cavaliers team as James Harden, despite the reports from Brian Windhorst, is not getting a multi-year extension in Cleveland. You cannot do that. So their futures are now tied together. Because everybody under the sun has bashed James Harden across all the platforms. Even here on the network, we have not been thrilled with James Harden. And you look at Mike Brown. He basically said, hey, James Harden, we're coming for you because we're not scared of you. We know your game. We know your game. We know how, you know what, you're going to go ahead and not play defense. Well, we're going to take advantage of that. And the fact that Kenny Atkinson's not going to sub you out the whole 4th quarter and your cardio is not where it should be, we're going to absolutely run at you. So my takeaways from
smart basketball.
Exactly. And I'm curious your thoughts, Chad, because my takeaways from this are really the futures are now tied together, Atkinson and James Harden. However the series moves, they are now anchored together, tied together, just like me and you on primetime, right?
That's it.
And you look at that.
To my right, you're right, James Harden.
You're damn right.
That's Kenny Atkinson. Yeah.
You look at Kenny Atkinson, you look at James Harden, and you think about all this, right?
Yeah.
James Harden has 2 options here. He has option 1, to go vintage Harden, say, you know what? Everybody's talking about how I'm washed and how this and that and this and that. And he drops a vintage Harden performance. I'm saying close to a triple-double. I'm saying 30 points almost. If not over 30 points, he takes over the game. And you know what? I'll live with a few blow-bys by Jalen Brunson. If you put up 30, you're contributing, your pick and rolls moving and all that. That's option 1. Option 2, Chad, is he does what he's doing. He doesn't care about his legacy, apparently. He's just hoping for another paycheck. And guess what? You can go get your paycheck in Washington. Or let's see if another team. Utah. We mentioned Utah earlier today, Chad. A little, just talking. Utah or Charlotte. Send him to one of these teams. You'll get another paycheck. You are still a viable NBA player from all the way up until May.
And they're not going to care. He'll put butts in the seats, man. They're not going to care. They're like, hey, let's go watch James Harden, man. Before you know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah.
Chad, I really have been sitting on this all day, right? It's like game 2 is so important. It's so important because this is going to be a measuring stick for a few different ways for the Cavaliers. It's going to be a measuring stick. 1, where's your mental toughness at? You just blew a 22-point lead. A 22-point lead and lost in overtime. That's question number 1. Question number 2, James Harden. Which one are we getting tomorrow? Are we getting a throwback the clock James Harden? Are we going to go way back Wednesday with James Harden tomorrow night on Thursday and get a James Harden vintage performance? And he silences the critics for at least another day of sports talk the following day? Or are we going to get an absolute embarrassment again out of James Harden? He's absolutely unplayable. Those are the main 2 that stick out to me. And I guess the other question I'd have too, right, is where in the hell is Donovan Mitchell? Why isn't Donovan Mitchell demanding the ball? saying, this is my team. Give me the ball. I'm going to run this. If we lose, I'll own it. If we win, I'm going to spread out the love to the team. That's how a leader leads. And Donovan Mitchell, he does a great job of leading when the back's absolutely against the wall. But, buddy, you got to think your back's already against the wall. Every game right now, you are 4 games, almost 3. You almost had it. You are 4 games away from the NBA Finals for the first time in your career. Are you going to let 36-year-old ISO James Harden lose those types of games 3 more times? You can't let it happen. Those are my main takeaways, Chad.
I mean, that's all fair. I don't know how to. I'm not sure at what point. I think maybe when you bring in a name and a guy with the reputation of Harden, he's been around the league for a long time. We talked about 17 years. Been whatever. He's a top 75 all-time player. He's a superstar. He's a regular season superstar.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lot of fun to watch in the regular season. Something happens in the playoffs where it's a little bit different. And listen, you're playing good teams, first of all, in the playoffs. You're playing against really good teams. And we all know things tighten up a little bit in the NBA in the playoffs. It's different basketball, right? Maybe it's not that James Harden is absolutely terrible. Maybe it's just, everybody has a flaw. Everybody has a weakness. I mean, when you've been playing on your legs for 17 years, it does take its toll, right? There's wear and tear. Maybe he's just physically not able to keep up right now. But on the other side of that, as the head coach, you have to be able to recognize that and say, hey, look, man, I'm not getting anything from you on either end of the court. We don't. Why would you take your timeouts with you? Why would you save? At that point, call the timeout, stop the bleeding. Whatever point. I mean, when it went from a 22-point lead to a 14-point lead or whatever, when it was like close to being 1 shot away from being a single-digit lead, call the timeout, stop it, and change things, right? Like figure something. They just kept doing the same thing, and that's what's so frustrating to me. And I think with Harden, I was trying to think a lot today and just consider it from all angles. And I don't know. I mean, he's got everything except for the championship. And at some point, do you think man, I'm a top 75 all-time player. I've been in the league almost 2 decades, right? I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars. I'm my own brand. I'm the beard. I've got everything I need, to keep making money even after I retire. Apparel, whatever. All kinds of things. Do you think at some point the fire, the passion just sort of levels off a little bit? Or is it all physical? It's just hard. And sometimes it just looks like it's a complete lack of effort, which, listen, could be exhaustion. When you're unable to physically move your body and do things, it looks like you're not trying. I get that, man. I've played late in games and, felt like I could barely raise my arms or whatever. I understand that, but I don't know. I think when you're a professional, there's a certain expectation, right? That you're physically conditioned to go do it for 45 minutes if you have to do that. Even at the age of 37, that's part of the deal. They're going to leave you out there. You have to produce. And if he's not producing on the other side of that, you got to get him out of there. So it's frustrating either way. It's nothing personal against James Harden. I mean, he's a great player. We talked about the top 75 all time. Mm-hmm. He's an absolute superstar. When things get tighter in the postseason, he's got some flaws, and I guess they're maybe, you could take advantage of him a little bit, and that's what the Knicks are doing right now. It's obvious. It's brutal.
Yeah, and as much as we love Max Strus and Sam Merrill and those guys and Jalen Tyson, you cannot rely on Max Strus, Sam Merrill, Jalen Tyson, any of these guys off the bench to save your season. Yeah. You cannot. The time is over, right? For that situation. That's a first round.
Well, you're going to spin the wheel and get a big game from one of those guys. It can't be. It's not going to be 2 of them. You got to have. And to the point about Donovan Mitchell, this is what I was going to say. I never got to my point. You bring in a guy like Harden, his reputation, and I don't know if sometimes Donovan Mitchell defers to him because he's been in the league longer. So it's like, okay, well, you're the superstar. You take the lead, and no one's really taking the lead, right? It's just faltering every time down the floor on offense. Every single time down the floor, it's like a bad shot. No one's stepping up and going, like you said, give me the ball, right? Give me the ball, get out of my way. Or at least, again, stop, take a timeout and start moving the ball again. Remember when that was working for 3.5 quarters and they just stopped? Find something in there. If you got to go to one guy or get it away from Harden, get him off the floor, start moving the ball again. Get the open shot back. Just get somebody open for a decent shot. And one goes down, and that's probably a different game. But they literally couldn't buy a bucket because it was just chaotic, panicked offense every time down the floor. There was no cohesion. It didn't make sense.
Absolutely. No, I agree exactly what you're saying, pal.
I'm sweating, man. It's frustrating.
Yeah, you know what? It's all right, man. We're getting the sweat on. We're here with you for another half hour. My final point on this, Chad, we're going to put a bow on this for the time being. We'll
Yeah.
be with you again, all of you here on the Inside Edge Network, Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Chad, Omar, my bro, Omar Colossal, and myself will be with you for post-game immediately after the game ends, game 2, and hopefully we're in better moods than we were after the ending of that one. Because I'll tell you, we were planning a completely different show 40 minutes before whatever happened.
Yeah.
I mean, so you think about that. My final point on this, Chad, you know, I brought up Strus, I brought up Merrill, I brought up Tyson. Love all those guys. They're amazing. You know, they do contribute tremendously. But the Cavaliers, Stars, cannot rely on Max Strus to score 25 or Sam Merrill to go have a 23-point game or whatever. Sure, if you get it, it's a blessing. But those guys are going to give you what they give you, and you need the Stars to contribute. This is like winning time.
A couple open threes, lots of hard defense, maybe 4 or 5 fouls because you know whatever. I don't want to say they're expendable, but I mean they're guys that are just like right there in the middle of the roster that they're all going to give you kind of similar things at different times. But yeah, you can't rely on 1 or 2 of those guys to go for 25 a night. It's not going to happen.
This is winning time. This is when Jordan, Kobe, even LeBron, I know he gets a lot of hate, but LeBron, you think of all these superstars. This is when they go out and win, and they take care of what they got to take care of. It's time for Donovan Mitchell and James Harden to go be superstars and take care of what they got to take care of.
On the court and on the bench. I mean, somebody's got to be the vocal. Somebody's got to step up and like talk to this team and calm them down and get them recentered, man. When stuff goes bad, I mean, you got to stop it somewhere. You either have to call a timeout and talk to them as a coach, or you got to be a player on the floor and, hey, settle down, right? Like you have to recognize that there needs to be a change made, and no one did.
No, you're right, pal. You're right. And we'll keep an eye on the Cavs. They play game 2 against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And we'll have the post game again here on Inside Edge Net. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow all the great stuff at Inside Edge Net. And of course, that website, our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. A lot of great stuff there. Make sure you use the promo code INSIDER at the shop. Get some great Inside Edge Network gear. Thank you for choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader and your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. We couldn't do it without you, and we appreciate you so, so much. So again, for Chad, Bryan, to my right, you're right. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NBA MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, back-to-back MVPs for the Oklahoma City Thunder star. There we go.
Hey.
Was it the right call? I'm already a little flustered. You can probably tell how I'm feeling. We'll get Chad's thoughts as well. And of course, we'll talk about that. And then we're going to send Chad back into the time machine. You know, it's Wednesday. We're going to send him back. We're going to see what he finds. It's Wayback Wednesday a little bit later on in the show. But stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Get your caffeine. Get your dinner. Get whatever you need. Go get your Inside Edge Network gear. And we'll see you right after the break.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife, Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Midnight Run coming up tonight. I would come on here and say I'm happy. I ain't. I still have timeouts that I'm saving, for my life savings. But that was an embarrassment last night with the Cavaliers. We'll talk about it later on tonight on Midnight Run. Again, G. Bush from the barbershop. Want to thank him. He joined me last night. But these Cavs, my goodness. You know what's going to make me feel better? When Eli and Omar join me later on tonight for our second edition of Midnight Conversations. Join us tonight at midnight on the Inside Edge Network and on our socials at Inside Edge Net.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, which means he's over to your right. And I'm Eli Moon. We're back here in the saddle, on the saddle, as Kyle Cornell corrected me earlier. We were talking before his show Unfiltered, which you can catch here on the Inside Edge Network, 5 to 6 p.m. weekdays.
Wait, he said it's back on the saddle?
Yeah.
It's back in the saddle.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we got to get him on the show.
Well, yeah, he was asking. We were texting before the show, and we were talking, and he said, "Hey, send me the link. I might join." And I said, "Spoiler alert! It's the same link you use for Unfiltered."
It's a copy paste. Yeah,
is it in or is it on the saddle?
It's in the saddle.
He said if you're in the saddle, that would be bad because you're leather.
This is a Wednesday night conversation.
Sure is. Sure is.
Yeah. This isn't for prime time. This is for Midnight Run.
Sure is. You can catch Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, midnight to 1 weeknights here on the Inside Edge Network. Again,
I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to go. Sorry.
You're dang right. No, oh my goodness. Like, subscribe, follow Inside Edge now on all the socials, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, all the great stuff. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when Chad and I and everybody here on the Inside Edge Network are going live. Great daily and weekly shows. And we're bringing more to you as we continue to announce some really exciting stuff here. So go ahead and look at that. Follow that and check that out. InsideEdgeNetwork.com. How about that? Our website, we can read about Chad and I and all our great personalities on the network.
Yes.
You can go to our partners page, W Energy, sportsmemorabilia.com, fanatics.com, allyrosefragrances.com, and Mosser Moments. We appreciate all of our partners. Couldn't do it without you. And that QR code takes you right to the website, right above Chad's head, right, boom, there. And we got a really cool deal on the shop right now. Promo code INSIDER for 20% off your order. Get a mug, get a shirt, a polo, a hat, get it all. You see the promo code. Get 20% off your order at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Cleveland's digital leader and your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. We appreciate you for being here with us and choosing us as your nighttime entertainment. And we're going to continue to talk here about the NBA tonight as it's the full swing. We're in the final 4 teams of the NBA, and we talked some Cavaliers, Knicks in that opening segment. Chad, I feel it's fitting that we have a conversation about the Spurs and the Thunder.
Yeah.
Which I think is a little bit deeper in a way than just the court and the basketball being played right now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won his second NBA MVP. Back-to-back MVPs for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Oklahoma City Thunder star. He's in his prime right now, 27 years old. He is pretty impressive, though I'm going to be honest, not the biggest fan of his game, personally. Okay. I don't think he has this offensive prowess that superstars usually have. Like you think of, okay, Kobe, he's going to back you down. He's going to hit that turnaround jumper on you. Boom. It lights out. Yeah. Michael Jordan just would walk you down. Get right past you. LeBron, he's a physical force. You just have identities. I don't know what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's identity is other than he has 8 to 9, 10 other guys on that team that can make an impact even if he's out. And I guess that's where I'm at, right? Let's open the discussion. He wins his second MVP back-to-back. Victor Wembanyama was also in that discussion, the Spurs star. If you missed, 41 points, 24 rebounds the other night. The only other person to do that in a playoff game, Shaquille O'Neal. So you think about Victor Wembanyama, you think about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's fitting they meet right now, and they're currently in action right as we speak for Game 2. You think about this, Chad. Okay, I'm not saying SGA had a bad year. Not even saying he just had a year. He had a good year. Some would say a great year. But I'm having a tough time when it comes to this MVP award. And this has been a discussion for over a decade. I mean, I was on a completely different station with the guys Rob Ruzicki and Anthony Alford discussing about the NBA MVP and why LeBron has won more than he has. And, it turns into voter fatigue and all that other stuff, right?
Yeah. I think that's a real thing,
You think about it now. There's so many different stars in the NBA right now, future faces and maybe current faces, the way this playoffs and postseason is going right now for the league. So the only discussion I've heard of why Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got it, I try to make sense of him. Like, okay, his numbers are cool, but you take him off that team, and the Thunder still are probably the 1 seed, if not the 2 seed, and they're probably still going a deep playoff run. You take Victor Wembanyama off the Spurs, they're still a good team, a blooming team, a blossoming team. You have Stephon Castle. You have Dylan Harper. You have these guys. Mind you, Dylan Harper just named to the All-NBA first team with Cooper Flagg and some other guys as well. We'll go over that probably later on in the week potentially. But you look at that, the Spurs are good. Wembanyama elevates them to the next level. And I don't see that out of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm going to be so honest. So I'm curious your thoughts, but my statement on this is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should not have won the MVP.
Okay.
It should have went to Victor Wembanyama. He won the Defensive Player of the Year at the youngest age anybody's ever done it. I believe he would have been the youngest MVP in NBA history. He's 22 years old. And the only reason that somebody can give me to make sense of it is, well, it's going to be Wembanyama's league. He'll win it 5-6 times. He'll get his time.
In the Super Bowl. He'll be back. I mean, he's got plenty of time.
I'm over that. I'm truly over that because the guy played out of his mind, elevated the Spurs to a position where they're now back in the relevancy talk of the Western Conference of the NBA.
Yeah.
And I just think his impact means more to the Spurs than the Oklahoma City Thunder get with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I honestly, and here's a hot take, I'm sure someone are going to roast me somewhere.
That's okay.
Jalen Williams is the best player on that Thunder team. It's not even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's Jalen Williams. Because when J. Will is out, yes, I know they're going to beat up on some of these teams, and I know I said the Lakers in 7, and you can bash me all you want. Every now and then I get something wrong. But You look at Jalen Williams and how much he impacts the floor. He's the main primary bucket getter when it comes down to Shai's shots not hitting, Chet's not getting anything going, and Chet's having a big problem, Chet Holmgren, with Victor Wembanyama. He is bullying him, taking his lunch, taking his dinner, waking up in the morning, taking his breakfast, taking his girdle, taking whatever he wants. And you see all that.
Say his lunch money too? Is he getting that too?
Yeah, exactly.
His
Lunch money,
his hat, everything, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you look at this, I just think Shai is not the best player on this team. Jalen Williams is. I think Jalen Williams is a star, whether he wants to be in OKC for the foreseeable future or if he wants to see if somebody else will pay him when his contract's ready to go next time when he's due up. I could see a team being, we want to strap our rocket, right, to Jalen Williams. That's how confident I am in Jalen Williams. Okay. I think he's so underrated in what OKC does. And I think Shai, as much as he is a good player, great player, whatever you want to say, I don't think he's this superstar everybody keeps trying to paint him out to be. I think he is benefiting from being the first guy there before they really started building this team. Because if you remember, OKC rebuilt this entire team. Chris Paul came in and mentored Shai, who was traded over for Paul George to LA before James Harden was there. It was Paul George. Yeah. And Shai was the first guy there. He's one of the older guys on the team.
Yeah.
He's benefited from them drafting well. I don't see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as a two-time MVP, a back-to-back MVP. Those are exclusive honors. So if you want to give him the argument that Victor Wembanyama shouldn't have won it because it'll be his year, next year or the year after.
Yeah.
I just can't get behind that because LeBron has 3-4 MVPs and he's been in the league over 20 years. You're telling me he shouldn't have won it at least 10 times?
He was the best player in the league for at least a decade. I mean, but like you said, I'll tell you, I'll get to my point in a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious your thoughts. My final, I'll just put a bow. I'll hand it off to you because I know I was on a rant there, but it's been on my mind.
Yeah, that
the Thunder are a complete team.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs go where Wembanyama goes.
Okay.
If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was off this team next year, the Thunder, and it won't happen, never, ever, obviously. But if he was, they'd be perfectly fine and probably in the same spot they are right now this year.
It's probably fair.
Yeah,
it's probably fair. I mean, I think sometimes it comes down to just different philosophies among those who have votes for these type of things, right? You get all kinds of crazy opinions. I mean, you've got, look at the Baseball Hall of Fame voting. You've got guys that won't vote for a guy just because they know they might get every other vote and they shouldn't be unanimous. Well, then listen, if you know that guy is going to get every other vote, maybe that player should be a unanimous selection, right? It's kind of the same thing in the NBA with the MVP. It's like I said, LeBron was clearly the best player in the league for at least a decade, right? Probably should have 8, 9, maybe 10, not 5, not 6, not 7 every time. But yeah, he should probably have double-digit MVP awards, right? But it's just like you have to keep outdoing yourself. And I think to your point, yeah, I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is I think he's really, really consistent. He's got that mid-range shot. He can hit it from anywhere, really. Like 10 to 12, 17, 18 feet. He's really, really consistent. He knows how to get open. He knows how to get to his spots. He knows how to score. He can score. But the other numbers, 4 rebounds, 6.5, whatever assists a game. Okay, that's fine. Field goal percentage is great. But how do you Jokic, right? Nikola Jokic is when you average a triple double. Okay, I know he finished second, whatever, but this was almost a unanimous award for SGA. How do you and I think just how are you going to tell me that Jokic wasn't the most valuable player in the league? And I get your point with Wembanyama. He's the most valuable player on his team, no doubt. Is he the most valuable player in the league? I don't know. I mean, 3.1 blocks a game is ridiculous. You think about what he doesn't average in assists, he snuffs in block shots, right? So
yeah.
Okay, it goes both ways. I mean, at one end of the court, you're completely dominant. At the other end, he can clearly score, right? He's a rebounding machine. He's huge. It's just, I think you get voters that look at these players, and the problem is, I'm not saying the voters don't know the game. This is what's going to sound like I'm saying, but they just don't know. It's like, okay, well, this is the best player on the team with the best record in the league. He averaged the most points for the best team in the league. Obviously, he's MVP. Check, right? And then when it happens 2 or 3 years in a row, they're going to go, okay, well, this guy averaged 31.1 this year, and he only averaged 29.9 this year. I mean, yeah, they won 81-1, and he played all 82 games and was basically the player of the game in every single. I don't know. Maybe it's Wembanyama's this year. He's stepping up, and it's like it's just like you said, it's on to the next guy. It probably will be Victor Wembanyama's league at one point. But if you truly believe he's the best player in the league now, that's not a reason to hold the vote back and go, well, but SGA did this and that, and he's getting up there, and this may be his last shot, whatever. I just think there's a lot of different philosophies among the voters, and I don't think they're all incorrect. I just think they're different, right? And so you get different perspectives on this. I mean, to look at a guy like, Luka average, 33.5 points, 7.7 rebounds, 8.3 assists. I mean, those numbers are crazy.
I think Luka
place vote. That's wild.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, pal, but right. I think with Luka, the missing the back half of the year, he had he had the ruling to get the 65 game minimum to even be considered. So I think that hurt him. But yeah, he had incredible numbers. And I hear your point.
Like one game, right? Like that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Yeah. Whatever.
And I hear your impact on, or your thought on the impact of Jokic, right? And I'm never going to disagree on Nikola Jokic's impact on the Denver Nuggets. They're a completely different team without him. But it's kind of to that point. If you want to use voter fatigue, that's probably why he didn't win it.
Yeah.
But what's the excuse?
Give it to this guy again. But you gave it to that guy again. Like what?
But what's the excuse for Victor Wembanyama not winning it?
I don't know. I mean, when you're that dominant, like I said, 29 and whatever, or 25 and 11.5, 3 blocks a game. That's really dominant. Like that's wildly dominant. And I to just use the argument that, well, he'll be back here. I mean, he's young. He's got to grow into it. Well, what? I mean, if he's the best player in the league, he's the best player in the league, then vote that way. But like I said, I think guys just get confused and like, okay, well, a bunch of players played really well, and there's a lot of really good teams. What do we? The best player on the best team. Check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think sometimes it's just like it's not thoughtless, but it's just sort of like, well, nobody can really argue with me if this guy averaged 31 points on the best team in the league. Vote for him. That's it.
And I think the NBA is in a spot right now, right, Chad? And this is my final point on this year because I'm very excited. First off, for this discussion, but Wayback Wednesday, send you into the time machine here in just a few moments.
I gotta get fired up. Yeah, I gotta get fired up.
That thing takes a minute. You're supposed to start that up before the show.
Yeah, well, that's try to get me started up before the show, and that's not always successful either.
We'll see. Hopefully that thing fires up. Put some diesel in that thing.
Is that what it takes?
Yeah, diesel.
Put kerosene in there. That's not good.
Yeah. My final point on this, Chad, and then I'll open the floor if you have any final thoughts yourself on this discussion. But I guess my final point, right, is this: the NBA is in a spot where a lot of their stars are aging, right? A lot of times the NBA has been very blessed and they are right now, where they have young stars coming in and taking the baton. You've seen it, from Michael Jordan recently to Kobe, and Kobe over to, I would say personally, after Kobe, even though it was Kobe's league, they handed it off to the Spurs for a moment with Duncan and those guys, and then back to Kobe. But you always had, LeBron in the mix and LeBron's league, and then Curry. They've always had. Now, here's the thing: Steph Curry getting older. LeBron, we don't know how many more years he's going to play in the NBA. Yeah. You look at Kevin Durant, a former MVP, James Harden. I know we've given him a hard time here in Cleveland, but former MVP, a little bit older now. You think even Kawhi Leonard, these guys that have won MVP, Joel Embiid, he's not necessarily on the older side, but his body, can he hold up? You have a position right now the NBA's in where they are just trying to find out who is going to be the face of the league. They've tried to give it to Donovan Mitchell. They put him on every commercial. Now, Donovan Mitchell's got to want it. But if the NBA was smart, they'd start looking into who the face of the league right now is. And I think not only did the Spurs find their unicorn, but the NBA found their unicorn. Victor Wembanyama is 22 years old. He's going to play for the next, 17, 18 years if he can stay healthy and wants to keep playing. And he loves basketball, so I wouldn't doubt he doesn't play till 40, right?
Yeah.
You see that. And I think that's why, in my opinion, the NBA and the voters made this decision to give it to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now he's back-to-back MVP. If he goes and wins the finals, he'll have back-to-back finals, and I believe he won finals MVP. I'm going to check during the break, but I believe he would have back-to-back finals MVPs. So now you have this big stat for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's 27 years old, can still run for the next 10 to 12 years. It could be Shai's league.
Yeah.
But I think the NBA really dropped the ball here. We could have been talking about the first guy to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year at 22 years old.
Yeah.
And it's going to look even sillier if San Antonio does what I'm expecting them to do, which is beat Oklahoma City in 5 games.
Okay. That's
So
fair.
that's my thoughts, Chad. Will you have any final thoughts on this MVP discussion?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure how to put a better bow on that than you just did. I just think, yeah. And by the way, you would be correct if he were to win the MVP or the Finals MVP, it would be back to back. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I just think there are maybe a couple of guys that made a bigger impact than SGA. Great player. I'm not going to discount his contribution to the Thunder, but I think there are a couple guys that maybe their teams couldn't live without a little more than that particular team, and maybe that's the reason. Maybe if you put him on any other team in the league, he's clearly he's the guy, right? I don't know. Maybe it just looks. I don't know. Maybe it looks skewed because the Thunder are so good, but I do feel like there are guys who make a bigger impact, really anywhere you would put them than maybe he does for his team. I think I see your point.
Yeah, and you know what? Well, you know what? And we'll keep an eye on this. Victor Wembanyama got to watch Shai Gilgeous-Alexander lift that MVP trophy up game 1, and you saw what he did. And he mentioned after the game he wants to win that award as many times as possible. So if you don't think this is a personal series for Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, not only just trying to get to the finals for the first time for that unit, the Spurs to get back there for the first time in, I believe, a decade now for the Spurs, over a decade. The last time they were there, if I recall correctly, it was 2014 when they beat the Miami Heat. So this would be the first rendition of the Spurs without Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker or Kawhi to get back to the NBA Finals. So it'll be interesting. Not only is that important, but also the true competitor Victor Wembanyama has. Double A mentioned on Midnight Run last night. Or yes, no, 2 nights ago. My goodness, I tried to forget last night because of the Cavs. But two nights ago, he mentioned Victor Wembanyama is the best player in the NBA. And you know what? I'll co-sign that. There is no better player in the NBA right now than Victor Wembanyama. There isn't. So keep an eye on it.
It's hard to argue that. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it all, Chad. All right, look, we got to get the break here. I want everybody to get their caffeine, get their dinner, get ready, because we're going to send Chad into the time machine. He's going to start packing up, getting ready. He's got to put on his equipment, his gear, and make sure he's ready to go. Get a little dangerous, treacherous waters going back in time. And when we come back, right here after just a few words from our sponsors, we're going to go ahead and go Wayback Wednesday. What happened today on May 20th? Chad's going to let us know. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that he makes it back here to 2026 to tell us all about it. We'll be back here on Inside Edge Primetime on the Inside Edge Network right after this. Chad, Bryan, Eli Moon. See you in a second.
Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Hey guys, Kyle here from Unfiltered. What a show. Broke down, obviously, the mess that was the Cavs situation. Some keys to the game for Game 2, Thursday night in New York. Can they right the ship? Also, don't forget, the one, the only, incomparable Jake Underwood stops by right here on Unfiltered at 5:30, talking about news of the day. Maybe we'll ask him about the crash. It's been a big deal. Spent a long time about talking on the show today. All that and more coming up tomorrow on Unfiltered, 5 o'clock, right here on the Inside Edge Network.
Okay, this isn't a game. Usually I'd come in with music. This is not a game, folks. Welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime. I'm Eli Moon. Oh, no. All right, let me just pull the screen. I'm Eli Moon, and usually I'd have Chad Bryan to my right, your right, and we'd be doing Wayback Wednesday. We would bring him back from the time machine. Folks, he's not back. He has gone back in time. I don't know if we're going to see him the rest of the evening. At this time, I'll remind you, just like, subscribe, follow Inside Edge Net. It might just be me here tomorrow because I don't know when we're going to get him back. Inside Edge Net, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the great stuff. Make sure you go to InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Of course, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Get the promo code INSIDER for 20% off. Use that promo code. Get 20% off at the shop. Get some great Inside Edge Network gear. Rep the network, Cleveland's digital leader, and your source for sports, entertainment, mental health, conversations, news, and everything in between. Guys, I can't lie to you. I'm rattled. I am so rattled. I miss him already. I do the show with this guy every day of the week, Monday through Friday, here on the Inside Edge Network, and I am just so rattled. I didn't think I'd miss Chad as much as I did, but I do. I miss his egregious chicken sandwich list. I miss his silly antics. I miss the fact that he can't cut his grass half the time. I miss my buddy. And you know what? It just honestly, we might just have to end the show here. We might. So with that being said, I'm Eli. Hold on. No way. Hold on. I think he's back. Chad, are you there? Chad, you're back.
I'm here.
You
good.
made it.
Somewhere.
Chad, it's 2026. You're here with us. I was ready to sign off the show. I didn't think you were making it back tonight.
Something doesn't.
Where are you?
I don't know.
What did they do to you? Is it like
I heard a loud pop, and for once, it wasn't my knees.
Did you put the diesel in the time machine like we told you?
No, I put the kerosene in.
Not the kerosene. I told you.
Fine.
I told you.
It's flammable.
Did you get the artifacts? Did you at least bring back some stuff?
I did. I don't know if I have them with me.
Oh no.
Look. Hold on. I've got something here.
Okay.
Maybe this will suffice. Eli, on this day.
Okay.
I feel off. On this day, May 20th, whatever year this is, I am in. But anyway, in 1940, Sadaharu Oh, Japanese professional baseball player and the record holder, Eli, for the most home runs ever in any professional league. 868, was born in Tokyo, Japan. And maybe that's where I am. Wherever I am, they don't have color streaming for their internet. I know that for a fact because I just looked at my preview screen of me for the first time, and I am in black and white.
Bro, I am like concerned about you. Like, I know we don't tan very well, but I've never thought I'd be in a situation where I'm more tan than you by like a clear amount. And it's
real.
Do you feel staticky?
I feel tingly. I feel weird.
Okay. That was 1940, Chad. And did you find anything else?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm back here somewhere, and I know that on this day in 1946, the great Grammy Award-winning singer Cher was born, which would make her, it says 79 years old, so it must be 2026 somewhere.
Yeah, you're here with us. You're here with us. We're trying to figure it out. We don't know why you're in black and white.
Okay, well, she sings a song called "If I Could Turn Back Time," and let me tell you, I think I may have just figured it out. So we should probably get together. We should get her on the show, and I could maybe turn back time. And if we could turn back time, I think we'd have Kenny Atkinson take a timeout or two down the stretch in that game last night as well. But that's beside the point.
If you were all the way in that time machine, and shout out Cher, absolutely incredible. I mean, a legend in the music world. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're in this time machine and you couldn't go back to yesterday?
It doesn't work that way. I don't know. I don't have GPS. It doesn't tell me where to go. I just get in here and I hit some buttons and it makes a loud noise and I pass out and I wake up and I'm wherever.
Okay. Well, the good news is you are here with us again.
Usually it's a lot smoother. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's
1946. Okay. Did you find anything else, my friend?
Yeah. Actually, I found out that in 1967, on this day, the Beatles were banned by BBC. The song "A Day in the Life" was banned because of a line, and boy, it was a simpler time. The line "I'd love to turn you on" got the song banned because it was construed as a drug reference. Not even, and now we have songs about what
Oh no,
they play on the, and that's fine. So that's different. That's progressed a little bit. The thinking there.
I'd love to turn you on would be the line that got the. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And you think about the Beatles, right? You know, Yellow Submarine and just all these classics, man. I absolutely love the Beatles. They're legendary. I know the Beatles are a little controversial for a lot of people. Some people are like, they just play the same hits. Okay, well, you guess what? If it works, don't break it. You know, like they have been doing the thing and they did the thing for a long time. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, absolute icons in the music world.
For sure.
I remember being younger, not 1967, but I do remember being younger and remembering "Imagine" by John Lennon and hearing that, and that just like shaking me to the core about how powerful. And Paul McCartney's featured on songs with Kanye West now at this time. One of my favorite songs, actually by Kanye West, and I know he's polarizing in it, himself, but
for sure,
one of my favorite songs by Paul McCartney is with Kanye West. And it's Only One. I actually think of my Aunt Monica, who passed away I always lose track of time, about 5 or 6 years ago. And, Kanye in that song was talking to his mom, about his mom talking to him, like from heaven. And so I listened to that when I'm missing my aunt. And it's just it's cool. Paul McCartney's just absolutely just crushing it on the keys. But who would have thought? A day in the life. And this is the line. Buddy, you must have been up in arms back in 1967 when you went back to the time machine.
Oh, it was wild. Yeah, a lot of people just didn't really know how to take a joke. Apparently, that's crazy though. Actually, the line. So let me tell you, I'm starting to feel a little bit different. I want to try something.
Okay.
I want to bring us to the next thing that I found out because this was pretty crazy too. I thought about the Sadaharu Row thing, and I thought, what happened over here in the major leagues, and maybe a different. Again, I can't really control where I go. I just stop on the date, and it's wherever I am. So on this day in 1985, the Cleveland Indians at the time and Brewers game at the Cleveland Municipal Stadium was rained out. It was the first major league rainout in 1985, all the way on May 20th. It ended a record string of 458 games since opening day without a single rainout.
Wow, that's incredible. And now you think of the 2016 World Series where it didn't rain for more than 3 minutes. I'm going to be so honest, and I might. Not tonight because he's already got the rundown, I'm sure, ready to go. But I'm going to ask AA Anthony Alford, our great program director and our bro, to reflect on our moments downtown at 2016 for the World Series when the Guardians or the Indians at the time, that rained. We were downtown at the watch party right outside the stadium.
Okay.
It did not rain for more than 5 minutes. That was the most BS rain delay. I know. I'm preaching to the choir, but my goodness, bro,
Yeah.
I can understand if I got home and my Guardians or Indian shirt was wet and the hat was bro, none of it besides my tears.
I can tell you that after being at game 2 of that World Series, that was a more consistent and significant rain than I think what they got for game 7. They say that they called the rain delay in game 7 based on what the radar looked like, what it looked like was coming, and they were trying to get out ahead of it. They didn't want to start the inning and then have to, you know what I mean? And I understand that call. But yeah, that did end up being questionable. And while
it just, Chad, real quick, I know you're stuck in time right now, but that sounds like our NBA MVP discussion where it's like,
a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be Wembanyama's league. So, we're just going to, we're going to cover ourselves here early, whatever. I know we got to get you back here. What else?
Well, and I was going to say, I feel a little less staticky. I almost like, I feel like I have some color coming back. I almost feel vintage.
Okay. You look a little different. You look a little retro. Yeah.
I feel like
you look like you're about to be in goodness, I can't think of the dang movie. Saturday Night Fever. You look like you're in Saturday Night Fever.
All right. Yeah. Well, I can assure you that there's a lot of dancing in that movie, so I wouldn't even probably be considered as an extra. But you never know. I mean, I could probably find one move that I could just do off camera somewhere, and maybe I could get credited, even though I didn't make it to the movie. Yeah, I feel a little more in color.
Look a lot better.
Things are okay. All right. Well, check this out. On this day in 1992, at the time he was tongue twisted. Now he's just Twista. He rapped 597 syllables in under 60 seconds. I'm not under 60 seconds is vague, right? It could have been 30. It could have been 59. But still 597 syllables. And I feel like that's what we got from Kyle last night on the post game. 597 syllables in under 60 seconds, right, to start the show. A lot of them that started with the letter F. And I thought he did a great job of trying to beat Twista's record, but he didn't quite make it. And that's okay. By the way, do you remember Kamikaze?
Yes.
That album in 2004. It was a pretty good album, man. I mean, right? Overnight's a lot. Twista had some songs, man. Like low key, he was.
And Twista looks out for like the next generation too. He's had songs with I believe Chance the Rapper. I mean, some of these guys that like have really created the next generation of music for like, Chicago and these other cities. I think Twista is like so underrated for his impact on music. I mean, he definitely raps really fast and really lyrical with it. It's not just like words to fill words. It's like, it's so lyrical. And, I think
it's not the Micro Machine guy on the mic. Yeah, it serves a purpose.
And I think of Slow Jams by Jamie Foxx, Kanye West. Kanye getting a few mentions tonight. And Twista, he's like Twista. And then he just goes in. Bro, listen, I threw some house parties back in the day, Chad. This song was on repeat. Not necessarily the 597 syllables, but slow jams and just we had Twist in rotation at those house parties for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He was sort of underrated at the time.
Yeah,
it just was like he had like a trick. He rapped fast, and that's all people really thought of him as. But actually some pretty good songs.
Yeah.
What else happened? What do I have here? Let me look. I've got some stuff. I got things mixed up from yesterday. Hold on, I think I had a rough trip back. Well, here we go. On this day in 2015, David Letterman hosted the Late Show with David Letterman for the last time, I think 33 years on night TV, which is absolutely wild. That show was on, by the way, on CBS for 4,209 episodes.
Yeah, man. You think of
list, man,
Chad. You think of Letterman. You think of just the legends of night show, late night hosting, and I think the guys right now that we have do a pretty good job. Fallon, Kimmel, Colbert. I believe he's wrapping up here pretty soon. Stephen Colbert. So, shout out to him as well. But you think about it, David Letterman, man. And dude, I gotta be honest with you. I'm still a little worried. First off, I hope you are gonna be a little bit better than what you looked like when you were on the screen before. But oh my gosh, okay, you're back. Thank God.
I'm all good. I'm back.
But you think of Letterman, right? I think of David Letterman. My first introduction to him was reading a book, a biography from him in like middle school or like junior high. You had like AR points, and David Letterman book was worth a lot of AR points. I made sure to read that thing, and I learned a lot about David Letterman. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed late night TV growing up. I was a big fan of that. I remember Johnny Carson, hosting the late night show on NBC when I was a kid. I remember that. I also remember when Jay Leno would be on periodically, and then when he took over for Johnny Carson, watched a lot of David Letterman, watched a lot of SNL as a kid. That was one of my favorite shows. It was like my second dream job after being a baseball player. I wanted to be on SNL one day. Apparently when I hurt my shoulder, I hurt my ability to be funny as well. So that's a thing.
Did you hit your funny bone?
I guess I did. I must have broken
Okay.
my humor. That's not very funny. So many top 10 lists. David Letterman was really funny. But yeah, speaking of late night TV, Jay Leno was, okay, right? His jokes were kind of old timey a little bit. It was kind of like ushering out the old era with whatever, just sort of was still kind of classic and old timey a little bit. So maybe not quite to my taste all the time. But I did like when they would do headlines on the Tonight Show. That was one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
Spellings and mistakes or whatever, and some of them were so funny. The weddings were always hilarious, like the funny wedding names. That I used to laugh so hard. That was one of my favorite segments. I remember a time when we used to actually DVR that show just to watch headlines. I mean,
I love it.
Monday nights or something. I don't even remember what night it was, but it was hilarious to me. I laughed so hard at that.
I love it. I think soon we should do a Tuesday top 5 list of the top 5 late night hosts.
All right, fair enough.
I think we should do that. I think we should collaborate on that, and we'll figure it out. All things said, though, that was a great list. A lot of historical facts, and I'm just glad my bro's back here in 2026. My goodness, bro.
Weird.
No more kerosene. No more.
Who would have known back in the 40s they didn't have color streaming for the internet? I mean, who knew? It was all black and white.
Chad,
Crazy.
Diesel. The time machine takes diesel. We went over this. A couple gallons is all you're going to need.
Yep. It's
I mean,
really
you don't
expensive, man.
It's probably not as expensive as it was. Back then you're probably a little bit better. So just make sure you refuel back
in the 40s. What am I doing?
You're just dropping the ball.
It wasn't as refined. It wouldn't have been. Yeah, I did the right thing.
We're not looking for perfect. We just need to get you back home.
True.
All right.
We're on there.
And you're here, pal. We saved you for another week. Thank you for doing the work that some of us are scared to do. Thank you.
We're going to talk to AA about hazard pay tonight.
Yeah. You're going to talk to AA about hazard pay. Okay. Let's go to our final thoughts here before we get out of here. Chad, you want me to start or you want to go ahead?
You go ahead. I'm still getting over. I feel a little weird still.
That was really rude of me to just throw you right from the time machine into final thoughts.
Hey, and no support in the company meeting either. I don't know what's going on with that.
No, I got you. I got your back. No, don't do me like that. I got your back. All right, listen, I got some final thoughts. All right, I'm gonna get heavy here for a moment. I apologize. I know we've had a lot of fun. I'm gonna get a little heavy here tonight. I saw the post the other day from my cousin, and I believe it's now 6 or 7 years, and I apologize. It's one of the two. But time seems to fly by that we lost one of my bros, Ryan. We just suddenly one day I got the call from my dad. Actually, I take it back. My dad woke me up. No surprise. You see Pop Moon here on every Saturday. Real Talk Pop Moon. We are in the same household, as he likes to call it, a bachelor pad, I suppose. But he had woke me up that day. And I'll never forget him just telling me that Ryan was gone. Just lost him. I lost him, and then it was around the same span I lost my Aunt Monica. And I lost a legend in the broadcasting world, Matt Medley, all in a quick span. You think about it, right? And I've done a lot of thinking the past week. It's been a very emotional week to pull the curtain back here for myself. I've been doing a lot of reflecting about just a lot of things, right? I look at, Papa Moon, and he's doing a great job, and he's going to be here for a long time. You ain't leaving me, Pops, but you think about, I think about all of the people that were rooting me on. And, you think of my guy, Ryan, just to give you a little background. This guy was at everything I did. I'd go work the captains, and I'd go do Ursuline play-by-play. I'd come back home, and there's Ryan I'm chilling. And he had the family pass to sit on the porch and wait, or, if somebody's home, get inside. Like, we made sure Ryan was good. And Ryan was a true supporter of everybody. It sucks because I know he'd be rocking out right now with everything we got going on the Inside Edge Network, everything with LaHale, everything. And I wanted to go over this a few days ago. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But I wanted to just pay my respects to somebody I really, really miss. Ryan, we miss you, buddy. We hope you're up there with your mom, just having great conversation and doing what you need to be doing. We're sorry that you didn't spend more time with us. We miss you. I miss you, and it sucks. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about life, right? And I'll close my final thoughts with this. I've been thinking about life, and my dad's getting a little bit older. He just celebrated being 59 on May 8th. My mom, I won't disclose her age, or she will find me and she will beat me. No, I'm just kidding. My mom loves me, but
live on this episode, it'll happen that fast.
No, Mama Moon loves me. Just in case everyone's wondering, Mama Moon loves me. She gave me a hug before she, threw some hands. But she can throw hands. Just be careful with her, all right? But all that joking aside, my mom was getting a little bit older, and I've been thinking a lot about legacy this week, Chad. And I know my legacy is very far from being done. We're just getting started. That's just been on my mind a ton. And I say that to say, I've had conversations with Papa Moon this week. I've had conversations with my mom, Mama Moon, this week. And I just, with everything being said, right, like, that I've already mentioned and I've talked about on this show for the last couple of weeks, and I'm usually not at a loss for words. I'll just leave it at this. Live your life. Like, live your life. Yeah. You don't have to live a normal life to live your life. The 9 to 5 may not work for you. Chad and I work 24/7. You may not have the family with the kids and the wife and her husband or whoever. You may not have that. You may not have all of these other things that other people are having, but it's because that's not your purpose. So find your purpose, whatever it is. I've said it before, whether it's having a cup of coffee in the morning, you look forward to that. And I'll be honest, that got me through a lot of tough days. When I was depressed back 4, 5, 6 years ago, really in a bad spot that I'm an open book. I'll shed some more light on that later. But when I was in a bad spot, getting up and getting a cup of coffee in the morning was what kept me going, and my family. That's what kept me going. And it's really simple. You just have to find something to keep going, whether it's a cup of coffee or just having a conversation with that friend or, just doing something, man. But I want everybody out there to understand that this life is so precious. And I've been thinking a lot this week, and I've been emotional, and I've been trying to find the right words. I still don't think I have them here tonight. But when you think about, I've been thinking about legacy. And I think ultimately what I want my legacy to be, and we're still working on it, is just somebody that left it all out on the floor. We talk about it on the sports level, but I left it all on the floor. I'm going to, when the good Lord calls me, I want them to have community creator, family man, everything across my chest that I live and love about life. And I just want to remind you, it could be gone in an instant. Tomorrow is not promised. So live every day like it's your last. Don't be scared, because odds are hopefully you're here the next day. But live your life.
Yeah.
That's my main thing. I'll be honest. I hear a lot of outside noise still to this day about you should go get a 9 to 5. You should go do this. You should go do that. You should do this. Why aren't you this? Why are you still single? I don't know that one still. But there's a lot of questions. And I don't want to live a normal life. And you don't have to live a normal life. Live the life that you love. If that means you're skydiving on every Thursday, skydive. Do what you want to do. Because I promise you, since I stopped listening to the outside noise and started living every day to the fullest, here on the Inside Edge Network with Lahele and the community and the fam and everybody, I have never been more fulfilled in my life and blessed in my life to be on the air with Chad every week, every weekday here on the Inside Edge Network. AA Anthony Alford for believing in me, giving me the call to bring me back into the sports broadcasting world. Rob Rizicki, Kyle Cornell, Peter Taleb, the owner of Inside Edge Network, on the Lahele side, narrator, Meezy, all these guys, Mark B. Easy, Cliche, all these guys. I am blessed and a family that loves me. I am blessed. And I just want you to know, even if you don't have 3, 4, 5 things right now, you can go out and get them and create your reality. Your reality is literally what you create. And please just live it. Please just live it. This week's been real heavy on me, pal. I can't lie. We have upped the ante on Kleenex quantity in this household, because between me and Papa Moon, it's like watching The Notebook. But I had to get that off my chest. Rest in peace to my brother Ryan, who I miss very dearly. Rest in peace to everybody out there that is mourning somebody. I'm still recovering. I love you and I appreciate you. And that's what I got in the most eloquent way I guess I could put it tonight.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know how to follow that other than just to, tell you to tell the people that are important to you that they're important to you, right? Hug your loved ones. Just, like Eli said, live your life, man. Have fun. Tell people that they mean a lot to you. You never know. Somebody may need to hear that. So that's all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're gonna end on that. We got a little heavy there at the end. We always like to have a little bit of fun and keep guys entertained, and we think we do a good job of that. And we appreciate you for staying with us when we get a little serious as well, because that's what we're going to do here on Inside Edge Primetime. Obviously, we're a sports show, but as you guys tell, you can tell if you've been following the last 6 months, we've been doing this show about 6 months, almost June, pal. Yeah. You think about it, we do a little bit of everything, and that's what we want to do. We want to just bring you something fresh, something different.
We all go through something different. We all go through the same type of things, but it's always different, and I think that the more you can relate to someone, the better, right? If it helps one person to just hear that, hey, we have our days too. We have this, stretch of time. We go through this, that. Maybe someone goes, hey, man, I feel like that. You know what? They talk to someone. I'm going to talk to someone. Sometimes you could just hear it and from an outside voice, and it makes sense, right? Everyone around you is saying, hey, go talk to someone, go whatever. Sometimes you just hear it from a different voice, and it makes more sense. So, if sharing our experiences helps one person, then it's more than worth it.
Absolutely. And we're going to be rocking with y'all for a long, long time. We're just getting started here on Inside Edge Primetime and the Inside Edge Network. We appreciate you. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all of you for believing in us as Cleveland's digital leader, your source of sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. We appreciate our partners, W Energy, sportsmemorabilia.com, Monster Moments, Fanatics.com, AlleyRoseFragrances.com for believing in the network and rocking with what we got going. We're continuing to build. We got a lot of exciting things on the way. So again, thank you to our partners, the QR code to go to the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, right above Chad's head. And again, you out there at home, we appreciate you. Go check out the website that way and get some great gear, of course. We got the promo code INSIDER right now, 20% off your order. And if you've enjoyed everything Chad and I have talked about tonight, like, subscribe, follow, all that great stuff at Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Stay tuned with what we got. We got a very exciting rest of the week on Inside Edge Primetime. Got some surprises along the way here for the last few days of the week, and we can't wait to share those with you. Of course, you cannot miss Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m. Weekdays here on the Inside Edge Network. All of our great weekly programming, Real Talk with Papa Moon, Jersey Chasers with Autumn and Christy. You have Voice of the Land with Ryan Mosser and Kevin Arnold. You have all this great programming, and we are bringing it to you something different, and we hope you enjoy so far as we continue to rock and roll. That's going to do it for us. I did not mention one show because when I mention the show, it usually means the Keurig starts up, but I'd be remiss without mentioning our program director, AA Anthony Alford, who does a fantastic job, if I do say so myself, doing Midnight Run with Anthony Alford every weeknight, midnight to 1 a.m. You're going to want to stay tuned in for that every weeknight after prime time for Inside Edge Net is where you're going to obviously follow and all that stuff so you know what's going on.
Eli, it's really lucky that he ended up on that show.
Yeah.
It's called Midnight Run with Anthony Alford. It's just lucky. That's all. I just wanted to point that out.
It sure is lucky. Well, I'm Irish, so, it was very midnight's
scary.
like when the moon, midnight's when the moon's out. So it kind of makes sense, right? So, all right. Midnight Run with Anthony Alford coming up at midnight here on the Inside Edge Network. I'll be behind the scenes, may pop up for a time or two. We got some really exciting stuff. We'll have midnight conversations with Omar Clausel joining us later on in the evening. So excited for that. But again, Chad Bryan to my right, you're right. He's back in 2026 from Wayback Wednesday.
Whew.
I'm Eli Moon.
Back in the saddle, Kyle. Back in the saddle.
Oh, I'm so glad. Before we sign off, AA actually sent me this. I don't usually do this, but AA had sent this to me. We have to get some information on that.
All right.
So AA, this is how we'll close the show. So AA has sent.
Knock my desk over, and then we'll do that.
Don't knock it over. Yeah. But here we go. So in the saddle or on the saddle, and this is from Google. Both phrases are correct, but they have distinct meanings. In the saddle is an idiom that means you are actively riding a horse, or more figuratively, that you are in a position of power, control, or authority. On the saddle is a literal descriptive phrase used when referring to the physical act of sitting on top of the seat of a horse or a bicycle.
Look at that. Everyone's right.
Everyone's right. You're right. Well, I'm left. You're Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon. Tell somebody you love them today. Tell somebody you love them tomorrow morning. And it's very important we keep the world rocking. We're Inside Edge Primetime here in the Inside Edge Network. We'll see you tomorrow.